You probably think smoking is a modern habit, something that started with cigarettes a couple hundred years ago. But humans have actually been inhaling smoke for well over 1 million years, probably longer than we've even had spoken language. No cigarettes, no lighters, no warning labels. Just open fire in enclosed spaces and lungs completely full of it every single day of their lives. Sounds crazy, right? But once our ancestors learned to control fire, breathing in thick smoke basically became a normal, unavoidable part of daily survival. So how exactly did smoke shape the human body, ancient rituals, and even the direction of human history itself? Today we're digging into one of the oldest habits humanity has ever had. One we honestly never really quit. We just changed the packaging. Ready to get uncomfortable? Let's get into it. Let's start at the very beginning. Our ancestors likely started controlling fire somewhere between 1 and 2 million years ago, long before modern humans even existed. Fire meant warmth through freezing nights, protection from predators lurking in the dark, and cooked food that was easier to digest. It was an absolute game changer for survival. But there was a hidden cost buried inside this incredible discovery. Thick, constant, lingering smoke that filled every space fire was used in. Caves don't exactly come with chimneys. That smoke had nowhere to escape to, so it just built up and went straight into everyone's lungs hour after hour. Every single meal cooked over the fire, every night spent huddled close for warmth, meant breathing in dense smoke for hours on end, night after night. This wasn't some lifestyle choice they could opt out of. It was simply the non-negotiable price of staying alive in a cold, dangerous world. For hundreds of thousands of years, this level of smoke exposure wasn't unusual or alarming. It was just normal, everyday life. So what did all of this constant smoke actually do to ancient human bodies over time? The answer is honestly a little unsettling. Researchers studying ancient remains have found blackened, visibly damaged lung tissue preserved in some of the oldest human skeletons ever discovered. This condition closely resembles what modern medicine calls anthracosis, a darkening and scarring of the lungs caused by long-term exposure to smoke and soot. Today, we mostly see this in coal miners after years underground. Ancient humans developed the same condition just from trying to stay warm at night. Chronic coughing, ongoing respiratory issues, and likely shortened overall lifespans. Smoke exposure probably played a much bigger role in ancient health than we usually assume. And yet, there simply was no alternative available to them. Fire meant survival. Smoke was just the unavoidable tax that came with it. It's a genuinely strange thought. One of humanity's greatest, most important inventions may have also quietly been one of our very first health hazards. But smoke wasn't only ever seen as a danger to avoid. For a lot of ancient cultures, it eventually became something much deeper and more meaningful. In many ancient cultures around the world, smoke wasn't just smoke. It was genuinely believed to carry messages upward, toward the spirit world. Burning specific plants and herbs was thought to cleanse a space of bad energy, ward off evil spirits, or open up a spiritual connection to something greater. Some early shamans and spiritual healers reportedly used thick clouds of smoke deliberately to help enter altered trance-like states during important rituals. Here's the science behind it. Breathing concentrated smoke for long stretches can genuinely cause lightheadedness, which ancient people likely interpreted as a powerful spiritual experience. Fire and smoke became deeply woven into ceremony, into healing practices, and into rituals meant to communicate with ancestors or gods. This wasn't casual or recreational in any sense. In these cultures, the use of smoke was treated as something sacred, and this ritual, ceremonial use of smoke quietly set the stage for something else entirely, deliberately burning specific plants purely for their effects on the mind. Long before cigarettes ever existed, ancient peoples across the world were already burning and inhaling all kinds of different plants. In the Americas specifically, tobacco use dates back thousands of years, and it was mostly used in religious ceremonies and healing rituals, not as a casual daily habit. Other ancient cultures around the globe burned various herbs, resins, and roots believed to have calming, healing, or even mind-altering effects on the body. These early plant smoking practices were also tightly controlled by the tribe, usually reserved specifically for elders, healers, or very specific sacred ceremonies. It's honestly a world away from a casual modern cigarette break. This was treated as something powerful, even dangerous, and absolutely not something to take lightly. But the human body didn't just passively tolerate all of this constant smoke exposure. Over time, evolution itself had to respond somehow. Scientists believe that this long-term, generational smoke exposure may have actually influenced how human lungs and airways evolved over hundreds of thousands of years. Certain populations with a longer ancestral history of indoor fire use show specific genetic adaptations linked to improved respiratory efficiency. In really simple terms, our bodies may have partially, slowly adapted to help us survive breathing in regular smoke exposure. This doesn't mean the smoke became harmless, not even close. It just means humans who could tolerate it slightly better had a small but real survival edge. It's evolution quietly responding to one of our own inventions. A strange, almost ironic kind of self-inflicted selection pressure on our own species. And this deep, ancient relationship between humans and smoke didn't just disappear once civilization started advancing and growing more complex. Instead, it transformed, evolving into something far more widespread, and in a lot of ways, honestly, far more dangerous than before. As tobacco eventually spread globally following European contact with the Americas, the way people used it shifted dramatically almost overnight. What was once a rare, deeply ceremonial practice quickly became a casual, everyday habit for millions, and eventually billions of people worldwide. The invention of the modern cigarette in the 1800s made smoking dramatically cheaper, faster, and far more accessible than it had ever been in human history. What once took ancient humans an entire fire-lit night to slowly inhale, a single modern cigarette now delivers in just a few short minutes. The habit that originally began purely as a survival necessity had officially become a mass-produced, heavily marketed consumer product. And unlike our distant ancestors, modern smokers don't actually need that smoke for warmth, for cooking, or for any sacred ritual. It's really just habit now. The entire context around smoke completely changed over time. But the underlying human relationship with it never fully went away. So why does any of this ancient history actually matter to us today in the modern world? It might genuinely explain why fire still feels so deeply comforting to us. Think campfires, candles, and cozy fireplaces on a cold night. That primal, almost magnetic pull we feel toward flame and smoke may be wired incredibly deep into our shared evolutionary past. Our ancient ancestors never actually chose to breathe in all that smoke for fun. It was forced on them entirely by the need to survive. Today, smoking is very much a personal choice. But that instinctive, almost magnetic draw toward fire itself, that part is genuinely ancient. So maybe the next time you're sitting by a campfire and feel strangely, deeply at peace, you're actually tapping into something over 1,000,000 years old. Fire is what built humanity as we know it, and smoke may have quietly, slowly shaped us right alongside it every step of the way. So, did you already know humans basically had a smoking habit long, long before cigarettes ever existed? Let me know down in the comments. And if you love these weird, uncomfortable deep dives into human history, go ahead and subscribe. We post new videos every single week. See you in the next one, with yet another uncomfortable truth from our ancient